Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tarnished Bronze, where we cover the Bronze Age depths and things inspired or tangentially related to the Bronze Age. And today we are going to look at a new comic called Planet Death Issue Zero. It is from Bad Idea Comics, and it's brought to us by the writing team of Derek Kolstad, Robert Venditti, and the art, or the astonishing art, should I say, of Tomas Giorello. Now, the reason that this is on Tarnished Bronze is firstly because we like to cover the odd new comic, and secondly because the genesis and the primogenitors, if I can use that word, of this are really related to some properties that came about at the end of the Bronze Age in real time, namely the Warhammer 40,000 universe. Now, full disclosure, I'm really into 40K. I love the aliens of 40K. I like the whole world building of it. I must admit, I do enjoy the Rogue Trader era and the publicly listed company, pre 2000s era of the 40K aesthetics more than I like the modern stuff, but I really love some of the modern stuff. The miniatures are still fantastic. The people are still fantastic, and it's a great property. So Bad Idea. This isn't the first Bad Idea comic I've read. ENIAC is one. I really liked ENIAC. We might cover this on the channel at some point. But Bad Idea comics kind of were on hiatus for a while, and recently they sort of claimed that this has had over 650,000 copies ordered. Although Bad Idea are known for their alternative sort of marketing campaigns and some kind of exaggerated claims. So you might need to take this with a grain of salt. The team of Kolstad is the screenwriter for John Wick. So I'm not sure how many bums on seats we're getting compared to Keanu Reeves's Berserker property, which I, full disclosure, haven't read. And Robert Venditti does do a lot of these more recent Valiant revival things, amongst other stuff. But I haven't really gotten into his work specifically. I might have a few of his comics, but I'm not au fait with his work too much. And full disclosure, I do love the John Wick. I really enjoy the Double Dragon style side-scrolling fight scenes that it has, very reminiscent of Old Boy. But that said, Old Boy is in a class of its own, while John Wick just has to be content with perhaps being the finest action film of the last 30 years, which is no small feat. So for comic heads, I think the main draw of this is the Giorello artwork. And issue zero is on newsprint, so it's a little bit desaturated as far as the colors. So we're going to have a look at it now. And like I said, the main draw is Giorello's artwork, which is really incredible here. And we kind of get an instantaneous establishment of the world as a kind of cross between Warhammer 40K meets the Matrix. Now, as far as the kind of writing and inspiration, it never really transcends this, but the artwork is absolutely sensational. And if it continues to be like this in any sort of way, shape, or form, I'm going to stay on board with this comic, even though it's somewhat derivative. Now, despite the inspiration obviously being a little bit derivative, we do get this Metal Hurlant kind of art style. So Giorello is known for his, or I know him from the Conan world. And so the fact that he can draw this tech to such an accomplished level is really impressive. And the coloring on this really matches the material. I'm not sure what it's going to look like if those new issues are in the glossy style papers, but this stuff is really fantastic. And I actually think it might even be an improvement on his Conan work, especially the backgrounds and the fullness in which you have to kind of render all of these different textures in these technological kind of aspects. Here's a pretty classic sort of space marine pose, might I add. And I must say that the aliens in 40K are one of my more favorite sort of aspects of that that world and that universe. And so there are some aliens in here that are reasonably well done, but we don't really get that much story, to be honest. And overall, I'm on board for the art. I really enjoy the cyberpunk and the 40k universes, so I keep mentioning it because it is really drawing on these, and in many ways in a positive way. It's not claiming to be original, but it is claiming to at least be visually spectacular, and that's what it is. So I'm happy to hang out in this world. I hope you are too. If you're on the fence, maybe try issue 1. Issue 0, I think you can get for $1 or $2. It's kind of like maybe 17 or so pages, 15 pages, and it's kind of a great try before you buy. So if you're at all interested in this, get out there, support your local comic shop, get Planet Death issue 0. And if you're at all interested in people talking about comics as opposed to talking about comic finance or talking about unsavory issues in comics, then give us a like, follow, and subscribe, and we will see you in the next one.